Line of M dashes, page 1. My name and interests. Name, Kris. My interests. I like Google Earth. I like laptop. I like book. I like pictures. I like help. My favorite thing to learn about is Google Earth. I like learning when. Laptop. I have laptop. I have book. I use pictures. I use help. I use Google Earth. Group of M dashes, dash. Page 2. Reading program evidence. What I did. I used a reading program or read a text. Tick what I did. I read a book, group of symbols. I used reading eggs, reading doctor. I answered questions. I matched words and pictures. I listened to a text. Paste a photo or screenshot here. Kris Dunn is text. What was the text about? Kris Dunn is paste. One thing I learned. Kris Dunn is photos. Help I needed. None. A little help, a lot of help. Line of M dashes, page 3. Viewing evidence. What I looked at. I viewed. A picture, a poster, a comic strip, a video, a slide, a map on Google Earth. Paste the picture or screenshot here. Kris Dunn is photo. Group of symbols. What did I see? Kris Dunn is Google Earth. What did I notice? Kris Dunn is video. I showed understanding by pointing, matching, choosing, talking about it, using AAC. Line of M dashes, page 4. My poster or digital work. What I made. I made a poster, slide, journey, page, report, comic strip, other, book, topic, photo. Paste or draw my work here. Kris Dunn is text. My work was about. Kris Dunn is photo. I used words, group of symbols, pictures, sentences, AAC, laptop. Group of M dashes, dash. Page 5. Comic strip or story response. My comic strip story characters. Kris Dunn. Setting. Book, a castle. What happens first? Kris Dunn is video. What happens next? Kris Dunn is book. What happens at the end? Kris Dunn is Google Earth. Paste my comic strip here. Kris Dunn is help. Line of M dashes, page 6. My reflection. I think my best work was. Kris Dunn is read, group of symbols. I like this work because. Kris Dunn is listen. I learned. To read, to listen, to view, to communicate, to make something. One thing I am proud of. Kris Dunn is laptop. Who helped me? Kris Dunn is story. Group of M dashes, dash. Page 7. Staff evidence notes. Teacher so notes. Sample 1. Google Earth. Sample 2. Laptop. Sample 3. Book. Sample 4. Listen. Sample 5. View. Group of M dashes, dash, group of symbols, page 8. Evidence checklist. Tick when complete. Reading evidence, listening evidence, viewing evidence, poster, or digital work, comic strip or story response, reflection, page, teacher notes 3-5, sample of natural evidence collected. Group of M dashes, dash, page 9. Final self-check. I showed my learning by reading, listening, viewing, communicating, making work about my interests. My favorite evidence sample is Kris Dunn is communicating. Why? Kris Dunn is viewing. Name, Kris. Date, the 14th of August 2026.